You bought the van before you had a single customer. That's why you broke. The number one mistake people make when starting a cargo van business is buying the equipment first and figuring out the money second. Now you got a van payment, insurance, and no loads. Congratulations, you just bought yourself a very expensive headache. How to start a cargo van business for under $500. Today is the video that fixes that backwards thinking. I'm gonna show you the right order of operations. Get the freight first, then get the van. Stop doing this the hard way. My name is Geoff Cole. I run richgovfinder.com. I've helped small business owners build real income from the ground up. And what I'm about to walk you through is the exact path from renting your first van all the way to landing federal freight contracts that pay you month after month. Let's start with the money. Here's how your first $500 breaks down before you make a single dollar. $257 goes to a 1-week van rental prepaid through Priceline. $100 goes to fuel for the first week. $80 goes to supplies, moving blankets, straps, and bags. And the last $63 is your buffer for anything unexpected that comes up. That's your whole startup cost. And if you appreciate me breaking this down step by step, drop a quick like on this video. It takes 2 seconds and it helps more people find this information. Now let's talk about how to spend that $500 the smart way. Step 1, rent, don't buy. Skip buying a van when you're starting with $500. Test the business first. Use Priceline, not the rental company's website directly, to find cargo vans at around $257 per week, prepaid with unlimited mileage. If you pay on arrival instead of prepaying, that number jumps to about $302 per week. So always prepay. That's $45 you keep in your pocket for doing nothing different. You know what I mean? Real operators said it plainly: sell before you buy. Post your ads and see if you get bites before you commit to a purchase. The van is an expense until it earns. Keep it flexible until you know the business is working for you. And speaking of making real money with this, I'm doing a live training this week where I'm going to show you exactly how small business owners are getting paid by the government right now. Real contracts, real money, not theory. The link is in the description and pinned in the comments. It's live on Zoom, so bring your questions. I'll see you there. Before we get into the apps and gig platforms, I need to stop here and explain something. Because most people skip this part, and it costs them years of real income. The gig apps are not the destination. They're how you keep cash coming in while you build toward the destination. And the destination is government contracting. That is where the real money lives. Here's why. When you do a junk removal job off Craigslist or deliver a couch from Facebook Marketplace, you are one bad customer away from getting stiffed. Private clients cancel, dispute charges, or just don't pay. The federal government does not do that. Once you are awarded a government contract and you complete the work, payment is legally guaranteed. The government pays through electronic funds transfer, and it is processed within 30 days by law under the Prompt Payment Act. No chasing, no drama, no chargebacks. And it gets better than that. Every Shipley job, every Amazon Flex block, every junk removal run is a one-time transaction. You finish it, and you start over hunting for the next one. Government contracts are structured completely differently. Under FAR 17.204, service contracts are typically built with a base period of 1 year plus up to 4 one-year option periods. That is a maximum of 5 years on a single contract. If you show up and do the work right, that one bid can turn into 5 years of consistent, predictable revenue without ever recompeting. You know what I mean? Now here's the number that stops people cold when they hear it. In fiscal year 2024, the federal government awarded $773 billion in total contracts. $176 billion of that went specifically to small businesses. The government is legally required under the Small Business Act to direct at least 23% of all federal contracting dollars to small businesses every year. They are not just open to small operators, they are actively looking for them. And before you think this is only for big corporations with fleets of trucks and teams of lawyers, it is not. Contracts under $15,000 can be awarded without any competitive bidding at all. A contracting officer can pay you on the spot with a government purchase card. Contracts between $15,000 and $350,000 must by law be set aside for small businesses when 2 or more can compete. Both of those thresholds were updated in October 2025 under FAR 2.101. A single cargo van, an LLC, and a SAM.gov registration is genuinely enough to compete for this tier of work. I'm going to show you a real live contract posted on SAM.gov, the official federal contracting portal, in the description below. Click it. Look at the scope of work, the agency posting it, and the contract value. This is not theoretical. These postings go live every single day across every federal agency in the country. The gig apps and the next steps are how you pay your bills and build your track record in the meantime. Every delivery you complete, every clean job, every on-time pickup is evidence you can point to when you submit your first government proposal. Start the apps on day one. Start your SAM.gov registration in week 1. By month 2, you are eligible to bid. That is the play. Step 3, stack roadie for return loads. Once you start taking jobs, you are going to have deadhead miles. That means driving back empty after a delivery. Roadie fixes that. Real cargo van operators confirm roadie is solid, especially the Roadie XD program for larger loads. Use it to fill those empty return miles so you are never driving back without making money. Roadie recently launched bulk deliveries similar to VHO, making it even more useful for van operators. It works best in larger cities where morning order volume is high. Key loads come straight from big box stores like Lowe's and Home Depot. Sign up at roadie.com, link in the description. Step 4, run Amazon Flex XL blocks at 4 in the morning. Real quick before I get into this one, if you want to see exactly how to land your first government freight contract step by step, I do a free live training every week on Zoom. The link is in the description and pinned in the comments. Now, Amazon Flex has a specific XL delivery tier built for cargo vans. The strategy is simple. Grab a block starting at 4 in the morning and finish before 8. You can net roughly $170 to $190 before most people even start their day. Multiple operators recommend starting with Flex to build immediate cash flow while you get your LLC set up and your business foundations in place. Sign up at flex.amazon.com, link in the description. Step 5, run junk removal, your highest margin gig. This is where the real margin lives. Search Refuse Near Me on Google. Call your local dump to learn their pricing and what items they accept. Then post ads on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace every single day without fail. Here's the math. One real operator confirmed. Charge the customer $300. Pay roughly $20 at the dump. You pocket $280. That is a 93% margin on a single job. Washing machines, old furniture, yard debris, all of it works. You can also add scrapyard runs for extra money on metal items. Step 6, also use GoShare, Curry, and Freight. These 3 apps cater specifically to cargo vans and pickup trucks, and most operators are sleeping on them. Use them as supplements when Shipley is slow. None of these require a DOT authority, all pay per job. GoShare is for general large item delivery. Curry specializes in construction and parts delivery. Freight is built for last mile freight with a focus on cargo vans. Sign up for all 3. They are free and you can stack them on top of everything else you are already running. Links for all 3 are in the description. Step 7, build toward government contracts on SAM.gov. Once your business is running, this is your next move. And honestly, you should start this in week 1, even while you are still doing gig work. Do not wait on this step. Form your LLC, get your EIN from the IRS, that is free and takes minutes online, and register your business for free at SAM.gov. Federal agencies like USPS, FEMA, and the VA regularly contract small carriers for last mile freight. And as I mentioned, contracts between $15,000 and $350,000 must be set aside for small businesses by law when 2 or more can compete. Here's what you need to qualify: an active LLC registered in your state, an EIN from the IRS, a SAM.gov entity registration, officially 7 to 10 business days, but plan for 2 to 4 weeks in practice, so start it early. Commercial cargo insurance, which is required before you can be awarded a contract, and 90 or more days of documented delivery history from your gig work. That last one matters more than people realize. The delivery history you are building on Shipley and Roadie and Amazon Flex right now, that is not just income. That is your track record. That is the proof you hand a contracting officer when you submit your first government bid. One operator described this exact path. He went from driving Uber and Lyft to running a cargo van operation. Apps first to generate cash, then LLC, DOT, and MC authority, then load boards, then government contracts. That is the progression. Follow it in order. Here is how the timeline actually looks. Week 1, rent the van through Priceline and post your first job. Start your SAM.gov registration because it takes time and you do not want to be sitting on a ready business waiting on paperwork. Month 2, your LLC is filed and your SAM.gov registration is active. Month 3 and beyond, you are eligible to bid on federal freight contracts. Every large logistics company you have ever heard of started with a single van and a willingness to show up. The gig apps keep the engine running. Government contracting is the ceiling you are working toward. The apps get you paid now. The government gets you paid for years. If you want help finding live government contracts that match your business, federal, state, and local, go to richgovfinder.com. Over 22,000 live contracts, updated every 4 hours, matched to your business type and location. You don't hunt for the money finds you. Link is in the description. And drop a comment below. What's your biggest question about getting started with the van business or landing government contracts? I read every single one.